Brandy Davis, subject to Lawrence, in 59.
We're coming down 126. What's your 20?
This passing the veterinarians. We got our D15. One lane down the back.
Brandy! Exit the vehicle!
It's hunting season in Sullivan County, and Sergeant Jason Height is preparing to take down his most wanted prey, convicted felon Brandy Davis.
Brandy Davis is a female we have warrants on. She always runs up in the woods to get away from us. When the lights hit her driveway, her feet hit the road. She's going hard as she can. So by the time we get up to the end of the driveway, bail out of the car, she's had more than enough time to cover a couple hundred yards.
Brandy Davis has been on the run for over a month. Convicted of burglary, theft, and criminal trespassing, she's currently wanted on several outstanding drug charges and failure to appear in court.
Sometimes, when you get really lucky, you can do what I'm about to do, which is just drive by, and hopefully she'll be standing down near the end of the driveway. It's right up here. No cars at all. See,
What was the address?
we may just wait until about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, black out,
3041.
and tippy-toe up in there. See if we can't sneak up on her.
Hyde heads back to the sheriff's office to prep his team for tonight's mission, to capture Brandy Davis.
Hey, that's her. That's who we're going for.
Yeah, but you think she's that big now?
Doubt it. As much dope as she's been on, she'll probably be much, much, much lighter.
She may be a lot smaller because they don't have money. They live in that trailer. They get power off his mom's house.
She's at a dead end, and she always runs. So we're going to do some sneakiness. Whoever the back car is, it doesn't matter who. Barrett, be the back car. Turn your ambers on, but not your blue lights. Just your ambers, because everything else is going to be blacked out. The front 3 cars, no lights, none. And the camper is back in the field back here.
Yeah.
And we'll stop well prior to that. We'll just walk. We'll take our time. We're going to wait till after midnight, and we're going to get her.
While Sergeant Hyde and his team wait for nightfall, across the mountains in Ashe County, North Carolina, a harrowing call springs deputies into action.
Male subject has got out of the car and is confronting the female at this time. Do believe male subject has weapons. Also be advised male subject makes threats toward law enforcement as well.
We've received a call from dispatch of a possible domestic between husband and wife, in which the husband states that he's going to kill his wife and that he would harm anyone who came on the scene. We have reports that he has hatchets and knives. Calls like these are very dangerous. Everything that you've trained for, you rely on. And there's other officers responding and should arrive on the scene shortly. And hopefully, when we get there, the situation de-escalates to where no one gets hurt, including officers.
He's got multiple knives and axes. He was hurting himself for law enforcement.
10-4. 120, house 120 up here.
Go ahead and shoot me.
Was that you?
That was me.
What's going on?
Shoot me.
What for? Let me get out of here first.
I want you to shoot me. I'm talking about no.
So you got any knives on you?
No, I ain't got no knife.
Put your hands right here for me.
I don't want to.
You need to put your hands right here for me, or we can do it this way.
Let's do it.
Here, they ain't gonna do that. Put your hands up here. I trust you. Put your hands up. Bring your hand back here. Bring your hand back.
Why?
Bring it back.
I ain't done
Listen
nothing.
to me, son.
I ain't done nothing.
Listen, I didn't say you did, but this is for my protection. This is my protection.
Man,
This is my protection.
like that.
You put your back now.
I don't want to.
Get down. Get on the ground. Give me some hands.
601.
Or 1023.
I'm coming. Don't move. You understand? Lay there. Lay there. Don't move.
You won't behave? Huh? Bend over the car. I ain't even done nothing. Why y'all hassling me for? You told me to shoot you whenever I... Yeah, I told you to shoot me. I want to... Then you made a grip. Then you made a grip and told me. You're going to jail now. All right. Why do you leave me for this officer kind of handcuffs? Well, I'll just go and stick him in the car. I don't want to live. You don't come up to me threatening like that. I didn't say nothing. I said shoot me. I know you did. Get in the car. If they state they want to kill themselves and kill others, sometimes we'll have to take them with force because we don't want them to die and we don't want them to hurt others. You don't better put me in prison. I promise you. I'll die in there. I don't care. Yeah. No. I told him to put his hands on the car. He said, kill me, man. I put a gun on him. Yeah. I tried to get him on the ground. Couldn't do it with the one cuff on. Had one cuff on. Once you get a handcuff on, that's a deadly weapon. So you got to maintain control of that hand, regardless of whatever else you do. Because as soon as you let go, then that's a deadly weapon. And the only thing you've got left is deadly force. I don't want to live. He basically said he didn't want to live, so we had to take him straight to the room that we call the rubber room. It's where the individuals are put in there so they won't do harm to themselves. And then mental health will come and evaluate. Lay down on your stomach. And whatever the doctors decide is necessary for the treatment, that's what they'll do. Give me your rings out of here. I hope Mr. Pavette gets the help that he needs. A lot of times it's just good people make bad decisions. If anything happens like that to him again, he can deal with it differently. Maybe call someone to come and talk to him. Would help him out a lot better.
As daylight thins and the cloak of darkness falls, back in Sullivan County, the hunt begins for convicted felon Brandy Davis.
Well, here we go. We're going to be 4 cars deep. All right, we're ponyed up. Everybody's in line, so we're going to go get her.
Sergeant Height and his team head out to Brandy's last known residence, a camper deep in the woods.
We're about to turn here in just a second to attempt this warrant. We've got a game plan together. Now it's a matter of just pulling it off. Hopefully as safely as possible. It'd be really nice if she was asleep. There it is.
They kill their lights to avoid detection and carefully move in on foot.
The problems that I see with sneaking in on foot is we have to go by a neighbor. That may call and warn her. Plus the dogs, it really piques their curiosity when you walk up through the woods as to what you are and what you're doing, so they bark and raise all kinds of cane. So when the dog starts barking, she's going to be looking for the door. Contact. Sheriff's office. Sheriff's office, come to the door. Sheriff's office, come out. Sheriff's office. Sheriff's office.
In Sullivan County, Tennessee, Sergeant Jason Height and his team are hunting convicted felon Brandy Davis, wanted on several charges and a failure to appear in court.
Sheriff's office, come out. Man. You gotta be kidding me.
No one home.
They're not here. They wasn't here when we got here. They're gone. I was afraid of that when that black SUV wasn't down there.
I wouldn't step over.
We put together a good game plan. They just weren't here. Her friends and neighbors called and told her we come here looking for her, so she probably won't come back tonight. Well, phooey. All right, guys. Good try. Phooey. I really thought that we was going to pull that one off. We'll get her eventually. It's just a matter of time, patience, pressure. The tactic is still sound. It's just a matter of getting them home. And now I feel like I should go home and boil myself. Because that's one of the nastiest places ever.
Hyde doesn't bag his prey tonight. But hunting season isn't over yet. Meanwhile, on the other side of the county, Deputy Michelle Gillum is on a hunt of her own for drunk drivers. A swerving vehicle catches Gillum's attention.
31 to 28.
31.
Tennessee 899. 81 southbound 63. We'll see what his deal is. How's it going, sir? The reason I pulled you over is because you were kind of all over the road.
I apologize. Lost.
You been drinking tonight?
No, man.
You ain't been drinking?
Nope.
You mind doing field sobriety for me?
I don't mind.
Okay. Go ahead and step out of the car
Yes,
for me.
ma'am.
Your eyes are showing that you possibly could be on something.
No, it's fine. I understand.
You had anything to drink?
No, I haven't.
Your eyes are showing you are.
Sweetheart,
I'm not your sweetheart.
I apologize. I understand you're doing your job. I appreciate you keeping us safe.
Keep your hands to your sides, okay?
1, 2, 3. That's not fair. You do it first.
All right, can you do it to 8?
1, 1,000, 2, 1. Oh.
You're going to fall in the road. Come back this way. Come back this way. Do it right there, okay?
1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7.
Okay, we're done with that test. You're under arrest for DUI, okay?
You ever had a DUI before?
Stay on this side. How long ago?
Like 3, 4 months ago.
Okay, so just have a seat in there. Thanks, guys.
See you.
Okay, so you did want to give blood.
I don't mind giving blood, sure, whatever you want.
Well, I mean, it's not whatever I want. It's your choice.
Can I do breath?
No, we don't do breath at Sullivan
So,
County.
then it's not my choice. So what are my choices?
Blood or no blood.
Okay, so I'll get blood.
Gillum heads to a medical facility for a blood alcohol test.
And I want to ask you why you pulled me over.
Because your whole car went over in the emergency lane.
My car crossed the line.
Yes.
Okay, that warrants me under the influence.
Well, when you're driving in Tennessee, your car has to stay between the two lines. And your car went across the line, so I pulled you over.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just want to make sure that we're on the same page.
We are on the same page.
Okay. If you think I'm under the influence, you're sadly mistaken, and the blood will show.
I'm not going to argue with you about this.
Sweetheart, come on.
I'm not your sweetheart. If you call me that again.
Ma'am, you don't like what you're hearing? Okay.
No, I'm not
We'll let
arguing
a
with
jury
you.
of my peers hear this.
Yes, we will.
Yes, ma'am. And you're right. You're not my sweetheart, hon.
I'm not your hun.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not your hun.
Honey?
First of all, quit calling me honey and baby and sweetheart and whatever else
Whatever.
you called me tonight.
I'm a southern gentleman.
Okay.
You're not my type, honey. It's not your I want.
You need to cool your jet.
You don't got what works for me, honey.
Okay, awesome.
Whatever, girl.
When you're mad, sometimes you say things that you don't necessarily mean, or sometimes when you're mad, you just start, mouthing off. When you arrest someone, you take their freedom away. And that makes certain people feel a certain type of way. Very rarely do we get thanked for arresting someone.
This is my right. You can't tell me from not to talk.
All right, well then talk. Let's go in and get this blood.
Do it. Don't touch me.
I have to touch you.
Touch me. Don't touch me.
31, can you send me some up here?
37, head that way.
Let's go. We're going in.
Not to touch me.
I have to touch you.
Whatever. I can't stand you.
Okay.
I thought I had respect for you up until now.
I don't know what happened, but something within this person flipped. He became very agitated, very hostile toward me, didn't want to follow any kind of instruction given by an officer.
Only thing you're not beating me up is because you're a girl.
Okay, well, we're at the jail now.
Okay, good. Seeing like you, I look at the brighter things.
Well, I do too. I get to go home at the end of shift. My job is to serve and protect, and that means protect the people. So if that puts a drunk off the street and behind bars, then that's what I have to do.
Prisoner intake.
Go ahead. Come on.
All I care about is at the end of the day going home. That's it.
Back in Ashe County, the night shift takes a violent turn.
118, can I go ahead and show myself 108, 1023?
Deputy Josh Hoppy Hopkins is racing to reach an injured man, hemorrhaging blood.
Sheriff Department.
The bleeding man's wife meets the deputies.
Let me set your door right here. How's that?
Where's he at?
You alright?
No.
What happened?
The door fell, and I grabbed the door.
Do me a favor.
I must have something worse than I got.
Listen, do me a favor. Take that towel and wrap it around here. We need to get you to the living room so the medics can look at it, okay? Take that towel, wrap it around this arm.
Alright, you're bleeding bad, bud. We need to... It's coming out from your shirt. You cut yourself in your back or on your arm?
No, it's hurting on me.
Two big slices on his arm. Where'd it come from? Said he put his hand up to stop the door and the door fell through it.
We ain't worried about your clothes, bud. You're bleeding bad. Let's go in here.
Keep bleeding. Hold it right there. Hold it right here. All right, here we go. Let's walk out here.
He called his dad. His dad told him to wrap it tight and lay down, and there's even blood all over the couch.
Sit down right here, bud.
Where's he at?
Ashe County deputies are responding to an emergency call. A bleeding man teetering dangerously close to death.
What happened?
The door fell, and I grabbed the door.
Bud, you're bleeding bad. Let's go in here.
Let's get you some help here, bud.
Sit down right here, bud.
With the open door.
Medics arrive on scene.
Where's he cut?
On his arm.
He says his arm, but it looks like it's coming from his side.
Yeah, I believe you got it. Greg, sit up here so we can look at this arm.
He laid down. When he woke up, he was covered in blood.
So he did this, y'all wrapped it, then he went to sleep and woke up like this.
While medics tend to the bleeding man, Hoppy continues his investigation.
How'd this happen?
He said the door fell, and when he went to catch it, he put his hand to it like that.
It just miraculously fell off?
Oh no, it's been on one hinge.
Your molding and everything's off. Did somebody get in a fight here?
No, it's been off.
You're saying the door just fell off like this, broke, he laid down now.
No, it's been falling off. But I know how to deal with it.
This door don't weigh enough to, if it's falling, to stick your arm through the gut.
Well, that's what he said.
It's ripped the molding off and
I
everything.
wasn't watching.
Oh, that's what I did, man. It fell, and when I ripped it, my arm went through.
The story ain't making whole lot of sense.
Well,
Maybe. Well, they've obviously been in a fight. They've obviously been in a fight. Have a better night.
Good job.
Have a better night, bud.
I appreciate it. I didn't realize it was that bad.
That right there was definitely a domestic gone bad. It was obvious what was going on. I mean, the door don't just fly off the hinges and jump on you. Probably got locked out if I was guessing and end up kicking the door in. I don't know about y'all, but I've never had my door just magically fly off the hinges and jump out and beat me up like that. But she says the door fell on him. He says the door fell on him. She hadn't been beat up. She's obviously covering for him. So his bad choice is getting him sent to VR. But
a new day begins in Ashe County, and calls continue to pour in. Deputy Joe Francis heads out to the scene of a possible home break-in.
On the way to a premises check, someone got their electric bill, and it was not what they thought it would be. And there's no one living in the house, so they want us to go out and check. No one's been out there yet. They're afraid to go without law enforcement officer because they're afraid somebody might be there and broke into the house and staying in it. We call them squatters. People just break into a house and live in it for a while. It happens. I mean, we catch it probably 2 or 3 times a year. So this little house right here. We'll see.
He meets with the homeowner to get the keys to the property.
Oh, no, it's in there. I have 3.
Okay. How long has it been since somebody lived here? How long has it been since anybody lived here?
My parents been here before Christmas.
Okay. Right now, on day shift, we got 3 officers. So a lot of times you can't wait till your partner gets there to help you. He could be anywhere from 5 minutes to 45 minutes away from me. If you have to fight somebody or shoot somebody, I mean, you're stuck with it. Sheriff's office. Sheriff's office. Sound off. Sheriff's office. Oh, somebody's been standing here. Sheriff's office. Sheriff's office.
Ashe County Deputy Joe Francis is investigating a potential home break-in.
Sheriff's office. Sound off. Sheriff's office. Oh, somebody's been standing here. Sheriff's office. That's what the list of bill is. You got a major water leak underneath the house. House is frozen, busted. Is it normal for the beds to be made down and look like somebody's been living in it? Cigarette butts and everything, is that normal? Yeah. Okay. Well, the reason the electric bill's up is because there's a busted water pipe. You hear the water hitting underneath the house in the bathroom. That's why. I ain't gonna mess with it because there's water running over the electric bulb there.
Oh, God.
That's how the electric bill's up. So I'm gonna get you a plumber out here.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad everybody's in it.
I mean, you never know.
No, you don't. All right.
All right, thank you so much.
Problem solved. But back in Sullivan County, officers are still trying to close their case. Convicted felon Brandy Davis remains on the run, and Sergeant Jason Hite is stepping up his game.
This is a thermal imaging device. And basically what it does is you look through here and it picks up thermal images. I mean, you can see deer with it, rabbits, anything that puts off a significant heat signature you can see with it. And that's what we'll see. That'll be our little leveling field. Because up until this point, I'm sure she has sat in the weeds just giggling herself silly about how stupid we are because we can't see her and she knows the area. So we're about to level the playing field with this one. We're going to go get her tonight.
Hite and his team head back to Brandy's residence.
Sure, buddy.
341 as well.
They're joined by Deputy Travis Jackson.
They're telling us that she can usually see the headlights of the officers coming up, so we're going to make sure she can't see us, because from what they're saying, when she does see us, she runs out the back and hides in the woods. She won't be able to hide thermally. That's half the battle, is being one chess piece ahead of the criminal.
door to the trailer is usually closed. They've got the point. They've got the point. They've got all their stuff out.
Height's prey has flown the coop.
They've taken all of the bedding out. They've basically cleaned out the camper. Generally, when you scare them to the point where they leave, comfortable residents, they don't come back if they're running that hard.
But then, officers spot a vehicle that may belong to Brandy's boyfriend.
Is that not his car?
It is. It is. So she's up here then.
When they take off like that or they run and abandon, it's a cat and mouse game. It's not a game over. It just changes the way in which we hunt them.
Height changes his plan of attack and redirects the hunt to the surrounding woods. If they want to capture Brandy, they'll need to take this search to the next level. Meanwhile, over in Ashe County, the midnight calm is interrupted.
and West Jefferson. I've got a subject in a white vehicle following another vehicle. They said they shot at him and shot his windows out of the car.
Hoppy's night kicks into high gear.
Been around about a minute behind me. We've had a vehicle shoot at another vehicle. They've shot out their windows. The caller's still behind them, following them. Just trying to get there. Everybody keep your hands out of your pockets. Come here. Are you shot? Are you shot? Are you shot? We've had a vehicle shoot at another vehicle. They've shot out their windows. The caller's still behind them, following them. Just trying to get there.
In Ashe County, North Carolina, Deputy Josh Hoppy Hopkins races to the scene of a potential shooting.
Are you shot? Are you shot? Are you shot?
Yeah, they hit him.
Who did this?
These guys. The guys.
Okay.
And that one, the guy with the white shirt, he broke my window. He was in my window. And I didn't do anything to that guy. The guy who broke my window, he broke it with a rock. He hit him with a rock.
The guys punched me. That's why we call you.
How many people did this to you?
10 guys.
10?
Yeah.
Okay. Are all three of them involved?
Just 3 in there. The guys, you see the little guys in there? Yeah, the little guy.
The short one?
Yeah.
He's the main guy that did this to you?
Yeah.
James, go ahead and just cuff him, because they're all saying he was beating them up. You're not under arrest. We're just detaining you right now, okay? He's not under arrest. We're detaining him.
This is crazy. This is just crazy.
You got him handcuffed. We just got to figure out exactly everything that's went on.
Officer Zach Vogler of Jefferson Police arrives to assist.
I was trying to help with him because he was being beaten up by these guys. I take him to go pick up his check. These guys had the car wash ready to ambush the chest beat him. That guy over there, he came and busted my window. And I hear a shot because it wasn't a fire, it wasn't like a tire or something like that. It was a shotgun.
Shotgun? Did somebody shoot somebody?
No. Yes, it was a gunshot fire.
Okay, who has the gun?
I don't know.
There's a gun in that vehicle.
And look at him, man. I didn't do anything. I didn't get involved in that. I just was trying to help this guy.
I'm gonna get you some help. Okay?
Please help him, man. He's really bad, man.
Hey, let him help you out.
Because the incident occurred outside his jurisdiction, Hoppy leaves the case in the neighboring officer's hands.
Zach Vogler of Jefferson Police, since it was in city limits, ended up being his call. He said he didn't see a gun fired, but his window is busted out.
He told me he shot him there.
Okay. Well, his window's out with something. Did you get the round?
No, that was too round. That a rifle. You got a license or anything? ID?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm gonna get all your information. Y'all got any IDs?
Yeah.
You went to the court and had to tell the judge to plead case in front of the judge. Okay.
Basically, the fight between a bunch of them. One guy, he got beat up pretty bad. He ended up going to the hospital. Officer Vogler, right now he's still investigating it. But I think as of now, he's going to let each of them take their own warrants. As soon as they clear up at the hospital, the two that called us, they're coming to take out warrants. So we'll go arrest them on that.
Back in Sullivan County, Sergeant Jason Height and his team are still hunting for convicted felon Brandy Davis.
I thought that was a tent from the satellite dish.
What'd you find?
Nothing.
They soon discover an uninhabited compound with a curious clue.
Those are live wires.
We noticed an electrical cord that was running down the yard to a trail that had been abandoned.
Let's say they're going to be further back. That back window, you can tell they're holding the dog because it keeps growling and stuff.
Officers suspect Brandy Davis is hiding inside with her boyfriend.
Sheriff's office. Sheriff's office, come to the door.
Come to the door, we know you're here. Those are live wires.
After days of searching, the Sullivan County officers think they finally found the hideout of convicted felon Brandy Davis.
Sheriff's office. Sheriff's office, come to the door.
Come to the door, we know you're here. That back window's cracked. It's got a sheet over it. Who wants to raise that back window, move the sheet, we can see all in the living room area where they're probably laying. And they know, they have no fear of us coming in because we can't kick in the door. So we move that sheet, we can at least see in the living room.
Yeah, but your data and all. Very fine gray leather. We don't need to cross. Because we don't have any until it says she is here. Best thing we can do, back out and set up. Give it about 20 minutes until we leave. Our man has her kicking out.
All of the windows had covering on them so we couldn't see in. So we didn't really have enough to force an entry in that. Plus that address wasn't on the warrant. What we decided to do was to back out and see if the pressure that we had put on them was enough to encourage them to leave.
So we've backed off and we're staking out each ends in hopes that they may get in their vehicle and leave, and we'll catch them on the way out. We're on this side. Sergeant Hight's posted up on the other side. So now it's basically a waiting game to see if they leave.
Bullseye. Sergeant Hyde spots a vehicle leaving the driveway.
347, 341.
341.
I believe her boyfriend went back and got his parents' van.
1040.
Brandy Davis subject for warrant 859. We're coming down 156. What's your point? Just passing the veterinarians. We got our dish 15. One laying down the back.
It's not the fugitive Brandy Davis. It's her boyfriend's mother.
We called the driver out and had her bring the keys to the vehicle. That way neither one of those other two occupants could drive away.
Brandy, exit the vehicle. Everybody, let me see your hands. Put your hands up. Keep them up.
Take the dog from me.
Come on, step back here.
This ain't the family feud. You can stay
Take the dog. Take the dog.
Take the dog. Back here.
Drop the cigarette and come back here. Who else is in there?
Nobody.
I love you. Love you.
After weeks of hunting, officers finally captured their fugitive.
It feels good. I mean, I'm glad that we got her picked up, taken care of. It was a group effort on all the officers there and everybody involved. That way we had enough people to cover the exits that we needed covered and make things as safe as we could. It's a learning experience for my officers, so I'm actually handing down things that I've picked up through the years and techniques that I picked up through the years. For them to see something that I tell them and teach them how to do so they can actually take away from it and use it to build, on their careers, they get to see it come to fruition that it actually works.